The wife and kid have been put to bed, so I've come in late to stay ahead. And as Dr. Seussian as that sounds, I do so actually very happily and willingly. I heard while I was out of the office today, we had one of my favorites, the 3790 RD Montana roll in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And I didn't want to wait until tomorrow. I didn't want to wait to see what the weather brought, and I wanted to get in here. This has an elevated rear den. Really, guys, what it is it's a reverse front living. So it's a elevated rear den with that awesome rear slide out cargo tray, which is perfect for like totes, kayaks, bikes, just all kinds of things. Now I really wanted to show this one with the slide closed real quick, because usually when you have opposing slides like we have with an island in the kitchen like we have, you're going to lose access to the refrigerator, but not here. This is a fairly nicely travel-friendly big fifth wheel, which is a hard quality to find. You see that you can get access to not just some of the fridge or most of the fridge. You can get access to all of the fridge in transit, and of course the bedroom and bathroom. You know, that's always going to be easy. Plus, if you really want to, you could kind of sneak around the corner right here next to the dining area. If you need to stop and have a bite or something like that, you do have a little bit of space where you could still accomplish that. You could get to the sink to wash your hands. So, you know, in terms of big fifth wheels, this is about as travel friendly as it can possibly get. Now here's something that's pretty awesome. It's pitch black outside right now, and it is daylight inside of here. This has an amazing lighting package through and through. You know, any RV can look good in broad daylight in the sunshine, but it takes a lot of extra effort and a lot of extra money invested in a ton of lights all over the place to light one up like this Montana. Now this is a 3790, which has an RV fridge, which is gas and electric, which is generally speaking our preference in almost all instances here at Haylett RV. More than happy to discuss the differences why. But other than the refrigerator, every single thing we're showing you here will also apply to the 3791, which just has a residential refrigerator. I just want to kind of give you a quick pass through here as we work our way up to the living area. And like I said, it's really just the, you know, 3730 front living Montana flipped around. But the thing is, in my opinion, it, quote, fixes some of the challenges that the 3730 has. Most of those are outside. Like this one has good outside storage and like insane outside storage, and I think it has a better patio arrangement than the 3730 does. Now, couple quick notes. This is a 20th anniversary edition Montana that we're looking at right here. A lot of people have asked me, why did Montana cheapen up? Why did Montana get rid of the vaulted roof? And what you don't understand, and what a lot of people are assuming, is that they dropped the roof, when in reality the inverse is true. So instead of having a vaulted roof, what they did is they raised the entirety of the ceiling up to the top of what was the vault level. It is now taller sidewalls. They actually made Montanas bigger so that you had more headroom in the shower, more headroom in the bedroom, and more headroom here in the living area, because they were able to make the slide outs taller also. So there's a lot of benefits that go into the new taller but linear interior profile. They didn't make it cheaper. It actually costs more money, and it's a little bit heavier, but they gave you more space. Now this is the lighter decor at this time. It's called Oyster. But there's also a little bit darker decor. I think that's called Bourbon. But man, once again, look at the lighting in here. And look at the windows. I don't have the shades drawn. It's nighttime, guys. It is just lit up in here. Now back up to the ceiling. You see those two little things right here. Those are the air intakes for a dual whisper ducted air system. Montanas have front and rear 15,000 BTU centralized whisper ducted air system. So a total of 30,000 BTU central ducted air. So if you want to cool it right down in here, you absolutely can. Now you've got that extra wide, quote, fireplace, electric space heater down below for the, you know, either the visual ambiance with no heat, or you can use the remote control to kick that on and get plenty of heat. Now the TV's on a power lift. If you want to drop that TV down to get the extra window behind you for like lakeside viewing, you can. And what's also great is now, you know, right now we can't see outside, but if you have the lights on inside, people could probably see me in here. You've got dual section day and night shade. So if you want to blot out the sun, There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one of the things that I've talked about, actually my family recently went on a family camping trip in a Montana 3120 rear living. Mr. Haylett, my mother, my wife, myself, and my daughter, the 5 of us packed in there. And one of the things that I really appreciated was the lighting you can utilize in what I call nighttime mode. I have all the ceiling lights off. All we're running right now are indirect lights. So what's cool is they're never going to bite you right in the face, but they light the floor up very nicely, and with the lighter color patterns that we have in here, it reflects the light around very nicely. Now, if we're using this as a bonus sleeping space with the dual hide-a-beds up front opened up, you don't have any direct lights up there blowing somebody in the eyeballs. They're all down here in the midsection, but it's enough lighting where you can always see the stairs. You can very clearly, easily see your walkways. You can see your countertops. You can make this thing like a no nighttime collision type camper, if that makes any sense to you. And I'm telling you, when you're up there, when you're trying to watch a movie, especially if the TV's on, the TV, if you're awake and the TV's on, the TV will give you enough glow upstairs to easily navigate. If you're not watching TV, it's probably because, if you're not watching TV and the light's off, it's because you're probably going to bed up there. So if you got a grandkid who maybe isn't quite used to sleeping in pitch black, or they're not used to sleeping in grandma's camper, something like that, you get the idea. You can leave a couple of these night lights on. Now, they're not all on one switch necessarily. There are a couple different switches you can activate, but it's so cool because it's just enough light where if you do want to watch a movie at night or put the grandkids to bed, it's perfect without being blindingly bright. And this is the kind of stuff I don't get to show you during the day, guys. Now, the night lighting, cool as it is not exactly conducive to, movie capture here. So I did want to kick the lights back on to give you a good look at these hide-a-beds. Now, what I do like is you see that there is an area to walk between them. But if you're really paying attention, guys, these power theater recliners that we haven't gotten to yet, these can still fully open. So you have a couple's beautiful fifth wheel here, but with sleeping space for 6 in the rear elevated living area, plus 2 in the master bedroom. It's a couple's RV that can sleep 8. And that is a pretty cool find. So putting those away, I want to give you a little better look at that power theater seat that we're looking at here. If you take note, next to each little side armrest here, you can see you've got open, close, you've got massage mode, heat mode, there's a little light, you've got your own little USB plug right here. It is a very multi-function fixture here. And you've got a removable pontoon style armrest. So if you do want more of a love seat scenario, maybe you're a little bigger around the hips or whatever, it is sometimes nice to have that extra little, 6 inches of space right there to kind of share or just utilize yourself, who knows. So again, each of those is a power theater recliner, and I love how they have it all trimmed out with that sort of wooden banister all the way around it. The touches are nice. Now note that beside all the sofas, all the theater seats, everything, you've got cross breeze windows everywhere in here. And again, just to give you an idea, they raised the total height of the Montanas so that they are all now as tall as they were in the middle of the vault, but all the way across. So even a tall guy like me being 6'3", I can stand all the way over here next to a sidewall, never duck a bit. Plus the slide out heights are taller, so it's a little less of a potential head knocker for somebody like me. Now, down here in the middle kitchen area, this is not just all about the living room, although I've talked about this thing quite a bit so far. Down here in the base of the RV, you're going to see that it is also all about the base. So there's a lot of good storage prep space going on in this kitchen right here. Starting right by the entry area, we have this cool little kind of hutch, but you could also easily use that as like a little coffee maker corner with the outlets you have there. Now the black box next to the power outlet is a wall control switch for the power ceiling max air vent fan that we have above this like extra cabinet right here with that indirect lighting. But what's neat is that also has a rain sensor. So if you leave that open and it starts to drizzle while you're gone, no sweat. Now, pardon the bag here with the central vacuum components. The RV is not parked in a level position, so these doors are wanting to close on me sometimes. Now, here you can see we've got just a huge pantry, but as you reach into it, ooh, look at that. More of that motion-sensitive indirect lighting. Isn't that cool? So once again, For a guy like me that likes to wake up at night and sneak a little midnight snack, I can do so without really disturbing anyone. Now remember, the 3790 ends with a 0, has the 18 cubic foot gas electric fridge freezer. 3791 has an 18 cubic foot electric only fridge. They each have little advantages. This is the RV fridge has an automatic changeover. It's got a safeguard, so if you lose power when you're not there, or if you're going to be boondocking off the grid, it's going to function far, far better for you guys. And you don't even have to think about it. It'll just do it for you. Mr. Haylett had a bad experience with a Jayco Pinnacle when they first came out with RV or residential refrigerators for fifth wheels. He had a seasonal site. He had a residential refrigerator. He was gone for 5 days. When they came back after 5 days, instead of getting to start their camping trip, they walked in and it smelled like a meat locker. Because the campground lost power while they were gone, and the inverter isn't going to last more than a day or two at most, and it's not even going to last 2 days, to try to run a big refrigerator like that on a residential-only fridge. And everything spoiled. He had hamburger moldy juice running down the front of his fridge. What a bummer way to start his trip. If he had this fridge, it never would have happened. Now, a residential refrigerator unit itself is a little bit better insulated. So when it's mounted in a slide like this, if you're going to be in that crazy sun country, maybe that is a little bit better option for you. I acknowledge that. I'm not, remember I said that there's advantages both ways. But here in the Midwest, we found that this works better for more people. And there are easy things you can do to help with the cooling of this fridge if you are in crazy sun country. So I also like, if you're paying attention to the cabinet here, everything kind of sweeps around the campsite cook. We've got these beautiful hidden hinges here on each side of that convection microwave oven. That is a full tile wall splash behind this huge amount of countertop space here. And on both sides of this sealed burner, like residential style stovetop, we've got these dual pop-up power towers with twin household and USB plugs. All that on top of, you know, anywhere you see counter space, you're going to find more drawer and cabinet space below it, and that is a full drawer below the oven. Again, just the RV not being level right now, it is kind of wanting to tilt and kick out at me a little bit. Now let's take a look at the rest of this island. As we come around the backside here where your campsite cook's going to be located, you see you've got a dedicated wastebasket space, which is so cool how it comes out to you for easy access. What's also nice about that is you don't risk the chance of like trying to toss something in there blindly and like having it fall down in a cabinet behind and getting like, I don't know, chocolate stuff inside a cabinet where you're not aware of it and collecting ants. That's not going to happen here. So you've got a full space below the sink there. We've already seen we have plenty of drawers and cabinet space. Now you've got all solid surface countertops throughout. And you do have stainless sinks. I simply removed one of the covers off the big basin here so you can see what you're doing. We've got the high-rise sprayer-style kitchen faucet right here for easy cleanup. And right across from that, surrounded by windows all over your campsite, I mean, this thing just has tons of windows all over it, is this awesome dining arrangement right here. Now, what's great is having all these windows on the campsite of your RV, so you get to see out of the side of your camper, and you're not forced to only look at the neighbor's campsite. Maybe they have a nice RV, but guys, if you're in this thing, you've got a Montana. You're in the #1 floor plan from the #1 fifth wheel brand out there. You don't want to look at the neighbors. They want to look at you. Now, Montana's always had one of the very best dining arrangements, it was hard for us when we didn't sell Montana fifth wheels. We've always had a lot of respect for them. But people always come in, yeah, but they're dinette. I'm like, I know, it's awesome. They've always had one of the best dinettes here. So it extends in 2 ways. First of all, the entire table slides out. Well, then if you need more room, you also have an extension leaf here. Plus, you see you have this easy lift sort of like dining desk arrangement. So when you're not trying to get into the storage down there, you drop this down. Didn't slide that out quite all the way. And there you go. So you can see here, now we do have plenty of room for 4 people. Now, Montanas are going to come with a very diesel pushery dinette where you have 2 full-time fixed chairs, but they include a pair of fold-away chairs that when folded down, they don't look like you're asking a guest to sit at the kid's chair. You know, you're not asking them to sit at, it looks like a real normal chair. So no one feels like a second citizen here. Now you have another of these pop-up power towers over here because you can use this as something of like a little office desk in a way. But what's neat is once again, just the little touches Montana puts in. First of all, we don't have legs under this dinette. So for a big guy like me, I'm not constantly digging my knees into stuff. I have got a knee knocker problem with my long legs. Now another thing is, we have the little chair buddy. You see, well, you can pull those chairs out of the way. You can push that, or put the chairs under here rather. Push this little chair buddy down, and it will keep the chairs locked down in transit. You don't have to strap things up and like scuff up the legs of your chairs in a Montana, because they included this handy little gas strut widget right here to do it for you. Once again, they just always find the extra little way to do a little bit more. That's why they're number one, guys. And when that chair's folded down, tell me which one's the folding guest chair and which one's the fixed host chair. Good luck, because you can't tell. Again, a guest never feels like a second-rate citizen here. Now, not only do we have just all kinds of doors, or windows here on the door side, but the main door itself also has a window. Unfortunately, this is where being pitch black outside is working against me right now. But if we look a little bit closer, you do see that there is a shade built right into this wall right here. Now, we do have central vacuum down here, along with what I like to call the electric dustpan. So if you do kind of sweep everything up off your main deck, you just toe kick this sucker right up, and it'll suck everything right in there for you. So you don't have to, like, you know, go get a manual dustpan, as it were. That's why I call it the electric dustpan. Not very creative. Anyway, handy little coat hooks right by the door. Drives me crazy how many things don't give you coat hooks by the door. This is not going to be one of those. Now, this has the bathroom pivot door. So what's cool is whether I'm coming from the stairs or coming from the bedroom, it just kind of melts in your mouth, not in your hand. It just gets out of the way, basically. Now, as a person who's physically used this bathroom arrangement before, just not this specific bathroom, I can tell you, it's awesome. It's super effective. And something I'm a fan of is this new fan they have in the 20th anniversary package here that's basically rainproof. You can just leave this thing cranking, and with the cover that they have on top, it can't rain inside. Now, it is deceptive because you just see a cabinet door here, but when you start looking inside of this thing, you're like, holy crap, Martha, this thing is deep. You can have a ton of towels in this thing. So it doesn't matter that it doesn't go all the way down. It's enough to have plenty of towels in here because back inside there was that huge pantry, remember? So we've got our porcelain foot flush toilet here with plenty of legroom. Now, pardon the antifreeze from shipping. This RV has not yet been cleaned. It was literally dropped off today. And again, remember, I came in overnight to get footage of this thing for you. Now, this is one area where that skylight letting in some natural ambient light would have been nice. But hey, no big deal. I think you guys get the idea. Now, the shower head here, it is height adjustable, which is kind of handy. Being tall, I like it up top. Being a little more gravity friendly, my wife likes it lower. So we compromise and we just leave it lower. Now, you do have a corner seat over here, so if you want to sit to bathe or shave your legs or whatever, very good for safety or just convenience. And it's a seamless one-piece molded fiberglass shower. It's self-reinforced. You can literally jump stomp in this thing and you're not going to hurt it. Now, over here, this is an easy factor to miss because we have a one-piece seamless counter and sink combination. If you kind of feel right here, you can feel that there are no seams on this whatsoever. Now, we also have great storage around the sort of vanity area in this bathroom with additional space for a handy little wastebasket right here in the bathroom. And take note of the fact that Montana puts the little grommets around all the little stuff in the floor so that, you know, it doesn't look like they just hacked a hole in your floor or anything like that. And then next to this big mirror, we have yet another handy little cabinet up here. Now what's cool is you can turn this thing on and off, and you can actually even activate this fan via motion mode, just like you have motion lighting. We have motion fans in Montanas now. It's fantastic. I can't believe I just used that terrible joke. Moving on. Anyway, up here in the master bedroom, just a couple little headboard lights for evening reading. Then you know, flick of the switch, ba-bam! Lights right up in here. Now, the bedroom is one of the reasons that Montana changed their ceiling profile from the vault to the taller linear area because of people like me. Once again, I can walk around in here. Let me walk all the way up to the side corner of this closet. Tons of headroom. All the way, all the time. It's probably about 6.5 foot tall in here, roughly, just rough guesstimating, effectively. Sorry for the crazy camera work there. I'm not much of a ballerina doing pirouettes. Remember, 15,000 BTU whisper air centrally ducted up here in the bedroom of a Montana. Now, take note of a couple things. This is a king bed slide, 70 by 80 king bed, with extra deep upper slide here, and you have side stands with power outlets built right into the side of the slide box. And that is a hard thing to do. And that's also a very awesome thing to do. My parents, who are Montana campers, and you may have seen our family camping trip video I've talked about already, they're CPAP users. So having that shelf there and the outlets right there, right handy, was so helpful for them. It's just not even funny, you know? It's the difference between sleeping well and sleeping like garbage for them. Now we have a full 8-foot front closet up here, but what I love is that they gave you a place for yesterday's clothes. But what's more than that, when you wake up or you reach in and you're ready to grab your clothes, there you go. More of that handy motion lighting. Now you've got another power outlet in here. I don't know what you're going to do with that, but it's there. You know what, guys? Give me some ideas. What would you use that for? Anyway, so we've got plenty of hanging space here, plenty of height. So what they did is they built some shelves in here for extra like dresser space, or a monster shoe garage for shoe fiends, basically. We talked about the hamper there. Now over here in the corner, we are set and ready for a stackable washer dryer. If you look back in that corner, you can actually see one of those two folding chairs in there, and all that motion light doing its job so it doesn't drain your battery when you're not in there. Now bedroom TV is going to be standard here in Montana, but what's cool is it's installed with a downward angle mount, downward dog angle mount, yoga TV in the bedroom of Montana. So it's easier on your neck. You're not neck cranking here, and you can actually still pivot it side to side, though I don't really think you'll need to, or I don't know why you would. Now, below that hardwood tabletop right there, we've got more dresser space just to kind of, I don't know, put the cherry on top of this sweet sundae. Now, I don't normally come in, in evenings like this, but as I said when this one opened up, this was just too good to wait. I was excited to see it. I really do enjoy this stuff, guys. Now, did you see that basement light kick on there? It's got a motion-sensitive basement light, and it's really, really sensitive. Like, just me moving a little bit all the way over here picked that up. So, when you open the door, it's certainly going to turn on. Now, you got a good look at, you can see, if you look at the shadow cast by the trailer, you can see how effective the awning lighting is. And guys, it's really not even pitch black. It's just sort of like getting dusk right now. Now, another neat thing right here, we may have talked about it inside a little bit. There's a lot going on here, and I'm way out of order, so I don't really remember. But right when you open that door, you see that little entry light kick right on. It'll flash on when you need it, whether you're walking through the trailer inside at night to get to or from the bathroom or the fridge or something, or like this, if it's an evening and you're walking inside, you don't have to have a light on by the door collecting a big old cloud of gnats or bugs or whatever. So it's there when you need it and gone when you don't. And how's about this for passage of time? I've been working on this one so long, it's gotten so late, it is officially pitch black. And look at this thing. When you do that, the light to dark or dark to light like that, doesn't that sort of remind you of those like National Geographic things where the submarines underwater, this thing just sort of emerges from the cloudy darkness, and it's awesome. I don't even have the awning open, so we're not even getting all the indirect light from the awning we could, to show you just kind of how much of a difference that makes and just how cool the nose cap looks lit up at night. This thing is awesome. Then fast forward in time back to when the sun comes up, and here we have it. So I mentioned this inside, but I want to circle back to it. I think the 3790 elevated rear living Montana, to me, I don't know how else to say it other than it fixes a couple of the problems that I feel are present on the 3730 or 3731 front living Montana. What those would be to me is the front living models, and this is true of almost any front living or front kitchen fifth wheel. They really lack outside storage, and most of the time on those 6-slide front livings and front kitchens, that dinette slide, that big slide on the door side of the RV right there, it's dead in the middle of the camper. And what that means is that it's dead in the middle of that awning, and it's eating up a ton of awning and patio space. And the 3790 does not have either of those problems. In fact, it's got a very good patio space here, and as part of the 20th anniversary edition package, you have one of these little electric power rails. You'll see those used in residential construction sometimes to be able to put lights in different areas. What's kind of cool here is this includes a couple little lights on your Montanas, but there's also little extra accessories like fans and things that you can hook into there. So it's just another little neat thing that Montana's including. Now we've got what they do here. A lot of people ask this all the time. Why do they have the double magnet holdbacks for those slam latch baggage doors, but they still have the old style gas strutted brackets? And the answer is because some people live in crazy wind country and they get just wicked winds or just on a super windy day. So Montana gives you the option, if you want to, add one of those gas struts to be able to keep that door held up instead of falling down on you. You can do that, and they go ahead and pre-install those brackets for you because it costs them, you know, a whole lot of nothing to do that. Now you can see that 10-inch to 12-inch, or pardon me, 12-inch down to 10-inch drop frame here gives us just an incredible amount of storage capacity. Our TV hookups, central vacuum over there. You can see there's a dedicated heater vent just to the basement. We'll talk more about that as we go. But Montanas are and have been 0 degree rated since '05, by the way. Now our entry door over here, we've got those ultra popular MORryde steps, and Montana was literally the brand that brought them to market. Montana and Fusion, the big Keystone toy hauler, they work together on this. Now a couple things. First of all, our entry door is anti-slam, like you just saw here. Another thing is, Montana, a little bit ago, upgraded their steps to be a 0G system, which is where it, you know, has a gas strut that helps self-support these steps so that they're not going to like fall down on you, they're not going to crush your feet, they're not going to crush your dog, they're easy to manage. Now, they're not just 30-inch wide entry doors, these are also 6.5-foot tall entry doors. That's a kind of neat thing Montana does there. I've noticed a few other brands have started to do that. I wonder where they got the idea. Where do you guys think they got the idea for that? Because as the #1 fifth wheel and the #1 luxury fifth wheel for 17 years, these guys are the ones that almost everybody else is chasing rather. Up front here, for ride and handling, we've got rubber shock dampening packages on both the pin box and the suspension, so that, you know, getting there is you know, as enjoyable as being there is kind of the idea. You notice the little blue shield icon or graphic there on the pin box. Keystones have the most comprehensive 3-year structural warranty on the market. They cover more things with theirs. You know, like the actual paint on their nose cap, all the wall welds, things like that. You hear things like that and you think, yeah, well, don't all 3-year structural warranties cover that? And the answer is no, all of them don't. They are not all created equally. Now, again, as a person who is in a family that goes Montana camping, what I can tell you is the hydraulic slides and leveling on this, what's nice about those, man, they move so much faster. The electric ones get the job done, and they work very well even in the cold. But what we found is that a lot of Montana RVers, they're looking to do that, you know, snowbird thing where they follow the sun and the heat around so that they're not, you know, blasted by the Midwestern winters, as it were. Sometimes we call Florida South Michigan, and sometimes Florida calls Michigan North Florida for that very reason. Now, the Montanas have been 0 degree rated since 2005 and counting, so insulation and upkeep and all that, that's just absolutely not a concern with these guys. They're one of the ones that really, they've invented the outline from what almost all other fifth wheel brands today use in terms of what to insulate, where to insulate, how to insulate it. They're the ones that really kind of perfected that recipe way long ago. Things like this, having your enclosed docking center with your heated protected gate valves. You got your battery disconnected in there. Everything's all in one spot. It's all protected in. The little detail things too, like Montanas include an extra long sewer hose caddy so that your black tank stuff doesn't need to mingle with everything else. And what's great is, see, compared to the front living Montana, which there'd be a wall like right here, you'd lose half of this storage compartment down here. You're getting all of it on the elevated rear living Montana back here. And on both sides of the RV, you're going to get these easy access little side saddle type pockets. And you can see how they're under a slide, so they are self-supporting and they will hold themselves open. But then we have this 10-foot slide-out cargo tray, very much like the basement of a diesel pusher. In fact, it's almost identical to that, other than the fact that it's just bigger and longer. So you can have this thing loaded up with big cargo. You see how far it opens out to you. So reaching the areas in the back there, absolutely not an issue. So again, if you've got, you know, kayaks, bicycles, tons of totes, anything, You are ready for anything and everything with this one. And that's what's so cool about the 3790 Montana, guys, is that it gives you don't just regain the lost outside storage that front living rooms suffer from. You gain all of that back and then so much more. It is just absolutely incredible what they can do here. Pardon me. Of course, all of our windows are tinted and, have, for privacy, frameless windows on the sidewalls and frameless on that rear wall, which is kind of cool. It just, I don't know what it is about that one. It just is really sticking out at me. Maybe it's just the way that it's framed up with this huge cargo door below. Now, a more recent update on a lot of your Keystone fifth wheels, they've added a reverse travel light on here. Like, you can see that there's red and white on these LED taillights. When you shift into reverse, those will kick on, which is very handy if you are pulling into a site at night. If you've been driving all day and you get there at night and the sun's down, it's really nice, obviously, to see where you're going when you're backing in, especially, if you got a spotter back here so they can see an unfamiliar campsite and not slip and trip around. Overall, guys, I think we pretty much got her here at ground level. Let's head upstairs and see what she has to offer from the, the bird's eye view. I knew I'd forget this. All Montanas have this, but it's easy to miss it on the 3790 or 3791, as it were. A 2-inch receiver hitch on the back. So let's say you don't want to lay your bikes down inside, or there's some other kind of cargo pod or tray or something you want to add to this. Montana installs a hitch for you so that you don't void your warranty by adding hitching or adding accessories to the back of it. Because they don't just put that 3-year structural coverage on there hoping you fail. They put it on there hoping you get to use the RV and just enjoy it. Isn't that nice? Couple quick notes up here. Remember, our air conditioners are both 15,000 BTU. You see that funny little vent cover next to the skylight? Remember, that's that basically rainproof fan that is also motion sensitive. Yet again, Montana raises the bar here. Now, Montanas are both side and roof solar ready, which is very cool for folks in sun country. And this floor plan in particular, you just have this giant blank canvas right here. You can go to town with it. Now, Montana was the first of their class to offer a factory installed solar option. We've done separate videos on that if you're curious, but it is very cool and it does very well at keeping up with things. So they've made these even more boondock friendly if that is your goal there. Overall, oh, wow. Something I can't believe I forgot. We can't really see it from here, but you get the idea. Is one of the differences in the construction on the Montana from almost everything else is that your side walls, well, that's a stick and tin trailer, but your side walls, they're not hand routed where you have wall and door cuts or window cuts or anything like that. They're actually machine precise CNC routed for walls and window cuts, and that's true even on the Montana High Country series. That's also true in the Keystone Fusion and Impact series. Basically, the absolute top tier Keystone products, which effectively means only the Fusion, Impact, and Montana families, have that benefit. So it's an extra level of quality and precision that goes into every Montana Fusion and Impact from Keystone RV. So it's just reducing all those little chances, risks, things like that, etc., that you may ever encounter any sort of glitch. And it's all those extra little things they do that add up to, help you understand not just how they one time managed to become the top seller in the class, but how they got there 17 years ago and they never let go of that title. 17 consecutive years as the #1 luxury fifth wheel on the market. That is saying something. Anybody can get there, but it takes a lot to stay there. So, whether it's hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between, we do it all for you at Haylett RV. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. Hey, there's a Fusion back there like we were talking about.